Fáilte, fellow creatures of the night. As the witching hour approaches, we begin our tale for tonight. So check the doors and windows are locked. Look underneath the bed and turn down all the lights. For tonight's tale is about to begin.
Ah, yes. And tonight? Well, you didn't think I had forgotten, did you? How can we talk of goblins and ghouls going bump in the night without mentioning the Slenderman? The Slenderman is an alleged paranormal figure purported to have been in existence for centuries, covering a large geographic area. Believers in the Slenderman tie his appearance in with many other legends around the world, including the Fair Dove, or the Dark Man in Scotland, the Dutch Taken Man, Branch Man, and the German legend of Der Grossmann, or Der Gross Man, the Tall Man. The Slender Man is a being, male in appearance, who looks like a man with extremely long, slender arms and legs. He also appears to have 4 to 8 long, black tentacles that protrude from his back. Though different photographs and enthusiasts disagree on this fact, and therefore it is theorized he can contract these tentacles at will. He is described as wearing a black suit strikingly similar to the visage of the notorious Men in Black, and as the name suggests, appears very thin and able to stretch his limbs and torso to inhumane lengths in order to induce fear and ensnare his prey. Once his open arms are outstretched, his victims are put into something of a hypnotized state, where they are utterly helpless to stop themselves from walking into them. He is also able to create tendrils from his fingers and back that he uses to walk on. Whether he absorbs, kills, or merely takes his victims to an undisclosed location or dimension is also unknown, and there are never any bodies or evidence left behind in his wake to deduce a definite conclusion. His face is pale and slightly ghostly, and almost appears to have been wrapped in a type of gauze or cloth. His facial features are also an object of debate, and many people believe that his face looks different to each person that has seen it. He is sometimes portrayed wearing a hat, which is sometimes a bowler, a fedora, or sometimes a top hat. He may also be seen wearing a long flowing necktie or scarf, which is either red or grey. He often keeps his long pale hands crossed politely behind his back or hanging loosely at his sides. His suit is black, sometimes portrayed as pinstripe in artwork, a common misconception thanks to the very similar Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas. He has long coattails which he lets flow proudly. He wears long dress shoes which are always shined a perfect gleaming black. Much of the fascination with Slenderman is rooted in the overall aura of mystery that he is wrapped in. Despite the fact that it is rumored he kills children almost exclusively, it is difficult to say whether or not his only objective is slaughter. Oftentimes it is either reported or recorded that he can be found in sections of woods, and these generally tend to be suburban. He has also been reported seen with large groups of children, as many photographers portray. It is commonly thought that he resides in the woods and forest and preys on children. He seems unconcerned with being exposed in the daylight or captured in photo. It is often thought as well that he enjoys stalking people who become overly paranoid about his existence, purposefully giving them a glimpse of himself in order to further frighten them. For this reason, it seems like Slenderman very much enjoys psychologically torturing his victims. He also often appears to float or drift around rather than walk, which suggests the possibility of him being ethereal rather than a creature or a man. This would also explain why he is able to remain mobile in spite of his poorly proportioned body. Some agree that Slenderman was fabricated on a forum known as Something Awful. Or was he? Some people have already claimed sightings. He is mostly seen at night, peering into open windows, and walks out in front of lone motorists on secluded roads. His main intentions appear to be kidnapping children, as when he is seen near them in photographs, they usually disappear shortly afterwards. Now that you know the basics, allow me to enlighten you on some historical references that could be connected to the Slender Man. Brazilian cave paintings. The earliest argued reference to the legend is within the cave paintings found in the Serra de Capivara National Park in the northeast of Brazil, which are believed to date back as far as 9000 BC. These paintings show a strangely elongated character leading a child by the hand, but make no reference to the extra appendages. Egyptian hieroglyphs. The next known possible reference to the Slender Man comes from around 3100 BC in Lower Egypt, with reference to the thief of the gods, or the thief of Cook, becoming commonplace during the reign of Pharaoh Vazna. Hieroglyphic carvings representing the thief were found in the pharaoh's tomb, who was rumored to have had some kind of encounter with the entity. The carvings resemble a strange figure with multiple upper limbs, one that has never been found in any other hieroglyphic language. German woodcuts. Renowned German woodcutter Hans Freckenberg created at least 2 woodcuts featuring a character he described as Der Ritter, the Knight. During the mid-16th century, they were discovered in Hallsberg Castle in 1883. Whilst Freckenberg was well known for his realistic depiction of human anatomy, something that was unusual among woodcuts of the time, these pictures featured a skeletal, multi-limbed creature. Historians are unsure of the exact symbolic nature of the character, with some claiming that it is a personification of the religious wars that raged in Europe at the time, while others say it represents the mysterious plagues that would have been believed to have been the reason for the mysterious abandoning of the Hasselberg Castle and nearby village in 1543. However, many insist that Freckenberg was attempting to represent Der Grossmann, the tall man, According to legend, he was a fairy who lived in the Black Forest. Bad children who crept into the woods at night would be relentlessly chased by Der Grossman, who wouldn't leave them be until he caught them, or they were forced to tell their parents of their wrongdoing. Even then, there is a chilling account from an old journal dating from about 1702. My child, my Lars, he is gone, taken from his bed. The only thing that we found was a scrap of black clothing. It feels like cotton, but it is softer, thicker. Lars came into my bedroom yesterday, screaming at the top of his lungs that the angel is outside. I asked him what he was talking about, and he told me some nonsense fairy story about Der Grossman. He said he went into the groves by our village and found one of my cows dead, hanging from a tree. I thought nothing of it at first, but now he is gone. We must find Lars, and my family must leave before we are killed. I am sorry, my son. I should have listened. May God forgive me. In Romanian mythology, there is also a fairy tale which tells the legend of the tall man. Featuring this description, which many have taken to refer to the Slenderman. The tall man stood in a clearing, dressed as a nobleman, all in black. Shadows lay over him, dark as a cloudy midnight. He had many arms, all long and boneless as snakes, all sharp as swords, and they writhed like worms on nails. He did not speak, but made his intentions known. In the fairy tale, the tall man causes a mother to kill her husband and child before he slid from a fireplace and clenched her in his burning embrace. English mythology. There is also an English myth referring to the tree man, who is said to have a slim body with appendages that look like tree branches. He is only known to be seen in the woods and was used as a story that parents told their children to thwart bad behavior. There have been quite a few disappearances of children that have been said to be linked to the tree man. Well, now that we have covered the basics, I bid you wait and tune in for our next story of Slenderman.
Thanks for joining me for tonight's tale, Darklings. I am GoblinPrincessKyo, and if you enjoyed our encounter, then subscribe for more accounts and tales from the darker side of life. Ah, the broom fell. Company is coming. Sweet dreams. Meet you back at midnight.